Hello and welcome to this video on index form and powers. What do I mean by index form? Well, as you can see on the left hand side of this table here, these numbers are in index form. And that means you've got a number followed by a number that is slightly raised above. And we say that that is 2 to the power of 1. So you've got the original number here. I've just used 2 as an example here for all of these, but it could be any number. And if it's in index form, it means that there is a number up here, slightly raised up. And we say that this is 2 to the power 1. Here, if there is a 2 up here, then we say it's 2 squared. Or if there's any other number here, but a 2 up here, we say squared. Here, this is 2 cubed, and in fact, if this was any number with a 3 up here, we would say that that number is cubed. If you've got a number up here that is 4, we say 2 to the power of 4. If there is a 5 up here, it is the number, in this case 2, to the power of 5. So, really, these are the only exceptions here. Squared and cubed. So if there's a 2 as a power, then it is usually said as squared. If there is a 3 as a power, then it is usually said as cubed. But pretty much all the others are said as to the power 1, to the power 4, to the power 5, to the power 6, to the power 7, and so on. Okay, what does it mean if we have a number in index form? Well, if we have, for example, a 6 here as our number, and we have a 2 here, we know that we say that that is 6 squared. But what does it actually mean? It means that the number, in this case 6, is multiplied by itself this number of times. So this is going to be 6 times by 6. So it's multiplied by itself twice because there's a 2 up here. Some students get this mixed up and they think it is 6 multiplied by 2. It is not multiplied by 2, it is multiplied by itself this number of times. Let's have another look at a different example. What happens if I had 3 to the power 4? It means I'm multiplying the number 3 by itself 4 times. So 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. Okay, it is not 12. Oops, I forgot to put another times by 3 there. Another 3 there. This is not the same calculation as 3 times by 4. It is 3 times by 3 times by 3 times by 3. Very different to 3 times by 4. Okay, let's have a look at some examples. Example number 1. Work out the value of 5 squared. So we know it means that we multiply the number by itself twice. So I'm doing 5 multiplied by itself twice. 5 multiplied by 5 is 25. It's not 5 multiplied by 2, it's 5 multiplied by itself. Example number 2, work out the value of 2 cubed. So I do 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2, which is not the same as 2 multiplied by 3. Let's figure it out. So 2 multiplied by 2 is 4. And then I'm going to multiply that by 2 again. And 2 4s are 8. So 2 cubed is 8. Example 3, work out the value of 11 squared. So this means I'm doing 11 multiplied by 11. Remember, it's not 11 times by 2. It's 11 multiplied by 11, which is 121. Example 4, work out the value of 4 cubed. Well, that means I'm doing 4 times by 4 times by 4 again. It is not 12, it's very different from that. Let's have a look. So 4 multiplied by 4 is 16. And then I'm multiplying 16 by 4. Well, how do we do that? Let's use a column multiplication. 16 multiplied by 4. 6 4s are 24. So I put my 4 here and I carry my 2. And then I do 1 times 4, which is 4, plus those 2 is 64. So 64 is my answer to 4 cubed. Okay, I have put here in the table the first 12 squared numbers and the first 5 cubed numbers, okay, or cube numbers. I strongly recommend that you learn these. They're going to come in very useful for you if you learn them. So let's just have a quick look. So this is index form. What does it mean? 1 times 1. What does this mean? 5 times 5. What does this mean? 9 times 9. And the result is your squared number. Lots of people think this is the squared number. No, that's just in its index form. This is the squared number here. 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, all the way up to 144. They are your first 12 squared numbers, and I really recommend that you learn those. These are the first 5 cube numbers: 1, 8, 27, 64, 125. Again, learn them. They will come in very useful. The opposite of squaring is square rooting. Please don't get this confused with division. Square rooting is the opposite of squaring. So here, let's take a look at this example here. For example, 7 squared is 7 multiplied by 7, which is 49. So the square root of 49, you're basically asking yourself, what number have you multiplied by itself twice to get 49? And the answer is 7. Here, the square root of 81. What number have you multiplied by itself twice to get 81? 9. So we say the square root of 81 is 9. So again, as you can see, here you've got a pattern. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, they are the square roots. So I'd again recommend that you know your square numbers. So if you get this in an exam, for example, here I want you to be able to identify that that is a square number. 64 is a square number. So if you square root it, you're going to get 8. That should be automatic. If you see this in an exam, you should know that 144 is a square number, and therefore the square root is 12. And similarly, the cube root. So, in an exam, I would like you to be able to identify that 27 is a cube number. So the cube root of it is what number have you multiplied by itself 3 times to get 27? That's 3. 125, I want you to be able to identify that that is a cube number. So the cube root is the number you've multiplied by itself 3 times, 5 times 5 times 5, to give you that number. So commit these to memory. Okay, example 5, work out the square root of 121. So you're saying, what number have I multiplied by itself twice, the same number, multiplied by itself twice to give me 121? Well, this is where, if you know your tables, it will really, really help. So here, the number is 11. Okay, 11 times 11 is 121. So the square root of 121 is 11. Example 6, so it's the cube root this time, so the same number that's been multiplied by itself 3 times has given me 27. What is that number? Well, I know, because I know my cube numbers, I know that it's 3 times by 3 times by 3 that gives me 27. So the cube root of 27 is 3. Example 7. Work out the value of 7 cubed. So 7 cubed, remember means 7 times by 7 times by 7 again. Okay, so I know that 7 times by 7 is 49. And then I've got to multiply it by 7 again. So let's use the column, 49 multiplied by 7. I start off by doing 7 nines, which are 63. Put my 3 here, carry my 6. Then I'm going to do 4 sevens, which are 28, plus my 6 gives me 34. So 7 cubed is 343. Example 8. Work out the value of 4 squared plus 7 squared. Okay, well 4 squared is 4 times 4, which is 16. 7 squared is 7 times 7, which is 49. And I'm going to add them together, which gives me 65. So 65 is my answer. Example number 9 now. For these sorts of powers, you are going to need your calculator. So work out the value of 3 to the power 8. So what you need to do here is press the button 3, followed by this button here, because that enables you to put in whatever power you like. So press the number 3 because that's your first number here. Press this button in your calculator and then pop the number 8 into that and press equals, and hopefully you will get the same as me, which is 6,561. Example number 10, 8 to the power 5. So find the 8 button, find that button and put a 5 in as your power, and you get 32,768. So 32,768. Example 11, the square root of 24. Now 24 is not a square number, so I know that this is not going to give me a whole number answer. So I'm going to find my square root button on the calculator, which is there. I'm going to pop 24 into my square root button, and it may be that you have to press this SD button to get it into a decimal form, and you should get the answer 4.898, and then it goes on for a while, so I can just put ... And example 12, here you have to actually press the shift button first, so the shift button needs to be pressed first, followed by that square root button that you did earlier, because if you look slightly above it there in the yellow writing, you can see the cube root symbol. So by pressing shift and then that button, you actually get to the cube root function, put in your 173 and press equals, and you should get the answer 5.57205. And then I'm just going to put a few dots after it because it does go on. Okay, here are some questions for you to have a go at yourself. So pause the video now, have a go at these, and Restart the video when you are ready to see the answers. And here are the answers. Well done for having a go at those.